Hi guys, this is Taylor, and thank you for joining me this evening. I've been thinking a lot about how my reading has changed over the past year or so, and I'm thinking that it might not be so visible to the outside world, but there's definitely been a massive change. Over the past year, I've really switched gears and become a lot more focused on finishing up my degree. And in addition to still working at the library and at times working full-time at the library, this just naturally means that I have less free time. I'm juggling a few things at once, and because of this, one of the things that has kind of fallen to the wayside a little bit is actually reading physical books. I have found that in some ways the rhythm of work and school can facilitate better reading habits in that they are more disciplined reading habits. But I have also found that I have a lot of times now, more than ever, when I just, I come home for the day and my brain just feels like mush and I cannot pick up a physical book and read. And over the past year or so, I've found myself really leaning on audiobooks. In the past, I would kind of dabble in the audiobook format, mostly for classics, but also just if I wanted to kind of pick up the pace on a certain book. But now, I have my Audible subscription and I live and die by those credits. Thankfully, my library has a really expansive collection of downloadable audiobooks and I completely take advantage of those. I even have a multi-page spread in my bullet journal that's just a very meticulously kept, detailed audiobook inventory. So I've really become kind of obsessed with audio as a format, and I'm only really realizing that now. But I don't always say on this channel when I've read an audiobook as opposed to a physical book. I feel like there is a little bit of a stigma associated with audiobooks in that, you're getting the book read to you or whatever, or people say that you're not engaging with the text in the same way. Obviously, I think that's a problematic stance, but at the same time, I still kind of feel that judgment, even if it's just in my head. But basically, what I'm really realizing now, and my big, kumbaya moment, is that audiobooks are really changing my life for the better. The fact of the matter is that if it weren't for audiobooks and the role that they have in my life right now, I don't think I'd be very happy with my reading at all. I know that I wouldn't be able to consume probably half of the books that I want to. I just no longer have the time or the energy. So I'm so grateful to have discovered how audiobooks can work for me, and so grateful for the extent that they help me to consume the books that I want to consume. And I did want to talk a little bit about how that discovery was made in the first place, just in case there are some people watching who are kind of in a similar position and who could benefit from what I figured out about audiobooks and how I ultimately made them work for me. Obviously, everyone has their own preferred formats and their own personal reason for choosing those formats, so if this doesn't apply to you, then it doesn't apply to you. But I have ADHD, and I had tried audiobooks a while ago and found that I couldn't concentrate on them, surprisingly. But I figured out that I just need to be doing something else while I listen. So right now my favorite thing to do is to play kind of a mindless game on my iPad while I listen to the audiobook, and the game kind of occupies the part of my brain that is not being occupied by the audio, and they end up working together. I don't know. And the other thing that I figured out was time. So I always felt like I never had time to just sit down and listen to an audiobook. But I figured out that there's a window of time every night when I am too tired to really do much of anything, but I'm not tired enough to actually try and go to sleep yet. And that is when I do 90% of my audiobook listening. It's like this secret window of time that I never really considered before and never really realized that I was wasting, and now that's just my designated audiobook time. So if you're anything like me, and more than likely you're not, but if you don't currently utilize audiobooks and you think that you might want to try to, those are my tips for how I made them work for me. And again, they've really changed my reading life. As corny as that is, they've enabled me to read so many books that I probably wouldn't have gotten to otherwise, and I'm really happy to have made that realization in the first place. So that's all I have for you this evening. Definitely let me know any of your audiobook thoughts or stories, and thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having a great day, and I'll see you soon. Bye!